Okay, we're going to go over your worksheet. So I want you to look at what you've done. I don't want to do pen. I don't want to use theirs. Okay, so we're going to, first thing, if you have your wheel that we used, the first one is convert decimal to percent. So what does it say on your on your decimal percent fraction wheel? To convert decimal to percent, what do we need to do? Yes?
Move the decimal two places to the right and write the percent sign behind the number.
Move the decimal 2 places to the right and then write the percent sign behind your number. Okay, so when I move it 2 places to the right, that becomes 11. And then I write my percent sign. So I do the same thing here. 2 places to the right. Notice I left off those leading zeros. You don't have to write those leading zeros. Okay? Here, same thing. So you should be checking your work or doing your work for the other ones of you who haven't done it yet. So check your answers, correct them if you haven't. Now the next one says convert decimal to percent. So if I move 2 to the right to convert from decimal to percent, to convert from percent to decimal, I move 2 to the left. So this is 2 to the left. So where's my decimal right here? Behind the 5. So I'm going to move 2 to the left, but I only have one space.
So zero.
For the 0. And there's my decimal. So 0.05. Because we we added a 0. We got to move it 2 spaces. So we started here, 1, 2. So it's 0.05. Same thing here. Where's my decimal? Where's my decimal?
Behind the 4.
I'm right here. Just behind the 2. And so if I move it 2 places, 1, 2, it becomes 0.62. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for saying that. It's a good idea to put a 0 in front of your decimal so you'll know you have your decimal there. Thank you for saying that. And I usually do that. Y'all hear what she said? She said, can we put a 0 in front of the decimal? Yes, you can. You should. So you can see your decimal. Okay, so and Elijah, you said my decimal here was behind the 4.
Yes.
So I go 1, 2. So I have 1.24. Okay. What questions do you have? Did Ms. Price have any computers?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get one, Ms. Price? And make sure y'all take them back or give them to me so I can take them back. Okay, convert decimal to fraction in simplest form. So what does it say on your wheel? Move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2, and then what? Put that in the numerator with 100 in the denominator. Okay, and then it says in simplest form, so we have to simplify that. So we can do it this way. You know that y'all know this is my favorite method. What goes into 65 and 100? 5. So 65 divided by 5 is 13. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So that's my fraction there. Questions? So if you left it here, I would probably correct. Yes, sir.
Wait, were you supposed to put the simplified answer or the?
What does it say?
I put both.
I mean, if you put that and then equals 13.
13 and 20.
That's fine. That's the simplified fraction. Okay, 0.24. So we're going to move our decimal 2 places over to the right and get a 24. So 24 over 100. And then what goes into 24 and 100? 6 goes into 24, but does it go into 100?
Hold on. Wait, let's see. I'll be 2?
2. 2 goes into 24 how many times? 12. 2 goes into 100 how many times? 50. Are we one and done?
No.
No, we can break it up a little bit more. What goes into 12 and 50? 2.
6.
So 2 goes into 12 6 times, and 2 goes into 50 25 times. So 24 over 100 actually simplifies to 6 over 25. Mhm. What are your questions? Give me your questions. Bring me your questions. Okay. So we're going to move this over 2 to the right, and that gives us 125. So we have 125 over 100, and we're going to simplify that. And you can do it the normal way that you do fractions. I just like this method. What goes into both of these? 2? 5? We can do 5. No, not 10 because that ends in 5. Remember that both end in 0. So 5 works. 5 goes into 125 25 times, I believe, and it goes into 100 20 times. And if you're not sure, you can always do this over to the side. And then 5 goes into both of those.
4. No, 5.
Yeah, so we could have just done 25 if we knew that off the top, but this is fine too. We still get there. Doesn't matter how many steps. So my simplified fraction is 5 over 4, and it's perfectly okay that it's an improper fraction. Our improper fraction is very proper
4.
for this problem. Okay, convert fraction to decimal. So what does it say on your wheel? Divide the denominator into the numerator. So it would be 35 divided by 20. And so I'm just going to do these the old-fashioned way because we know how to divide by hand. 20 into 35. That's what they're saying, 20 into 35. So 20 goes into 35 how many times? 1. So that's our divide step. 1, and then our multiply step. Remember, we do divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. 1 times 20 is 20. Subtract, and we get 15. And since we're trying to get a decimal, we keep going. So I put a decimal here. And go ahead and bring it up right then so you won't forget it later. Jake, are you paying attention? Okay, bring down that 0. 20 goes into 150 7 times, because 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 2 is 16. That's too much. That would give me 160. 7 times 2 is 14, so 7 times 20 is 140. I'm going to add another 0 and bring it down.
That's
5. 20 times 5 is 100, so 1.75. We could have done that quicker with a calculator, but we just preserve some brain cells for when we get old. Okay? So 25 into 10. 25 doesn't go into 10, so I'm going to put a 0 and line up a decimal right there. And I'm going to add another 0. 25 does go into 100. 4 times, I don't even have to worry about it because my decimal is already there. 4 times 25 is 100. See, if you already put that decimal there, you don't have to worry about lining up something later. And then I'm tired of dividing, y'all. I take my word for it. This one is 0.992. And it's going to be 46 divided by 50. Now, if you will notice, the next 3 are the same exact problems. But it says convert fraction to percent. And the reason I did this is because you have to do this step before as a part of this. So when you convert fractions to percent, the first thing you have to do is convert the fraction to a decimal, and then you convert the decimal to a percent. So let's go ahead and write our answers from up here. Okay. And then we know how to do decimal to percent because we already did that at the beginning, up there at the top. And so to do a decimal to percent, we move the decimal two to the right, right? Yeah, I heard somebody go, oh. And so you move that two to the right. I didn't have a zero there, so I added one. That's okay. I can do that. It's my problem. All right. Hmm? You couldn't? Well, let's look at it. You got your wheel? Okay, what does the wheel say? Convert percent to fraction. So we're going to look at percent to fraction. It says, take your.
Simplified, so it must be 17 over 100.
Okay, so what does it say? Read the instructions off your wheel. It said put that in the numerator, right? Read the instruction, percent to fraction.
It says mine crumbles up, so I can't really do it.
Yeah, get one that's not crumbled.
Okay, so I use percent.
Okay, wait a minute. He got his crumbled up. We're gonna have to do him another.
So then just move it 2 times, and it'll be 58 and 100.
Percent to fraction.
17. Percent to fraction.
17 over 100. So you convert percent to fraction, you just put that over 100, and then you simplify. Right. 17 is prime, and it's not a factor of 100, so we're good right there. We are done. So that one's good. Okay, let's look at this one. We're going to put this over 100, and we're going to simplify. 92 and 100 are both divisible by 2. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. 92 divided by 2 is 46. I'm cheating, y'all. It's right there. 100 divided by 2 is 50. But are we done? What else can we divide by? 2. We can do 2 again. So 46 divided by 2 is what? 23. And 50 divided by 2 is 25. So that's our final answer because we're one and done right there. 23 is prime. Okay, this one, 168 over 100. I'm going to use when I have to keep my mind together, I use the ladder method. One of my students immediately recognized that this was divisible by 4. I was getting ready to start with 2. He said, Miss Ledge, 8 is divisible by 4, and 16 is divisible by 4. He said, so that's a 2, and that's a 4. It's a 42. Brilliant. He caught it so fast. So now I have a new method of doing that. Yeah, it was well, I'm recording, so I'm not going to say names. Okay, so he said it was a 42, so we'll take it is, because 42 times 4 is 168. But he did it so quick, it scared me. And 4 goes into 100 25 times. I love teaching smart kids. So that is that.
Well, then you must hate this class.
No, you're one of my smarter classes. Yeah.
You said